This is from Billy's Talking Points memo from Friday, February 6, 2015. Is Obama destroying his own legacy? And of course, Billy, you go right into the fact that at the National Prayer Breakfast, Obama basically indicated that, we did some pretty terrible things in the Crusades, and we should at least acknowledge this type of thing. Did he have to do that? Of course he didn't have to do that. Did he want to make a point that, we shouldn't always be casting so many stones? Yes, he did. Did I think he made a good point? Yes, I do believe that he made a good point. In fact, there were some very, very poignant articles and pictures by a number, of course, to you, left-leaning publications, which talked about a number of black men in the South who were lynched and burned to death. And let's get this straight, is that in a lot of cases, they weren't guilty of anything. They were trumped up charges. Second thing, their bodies were mutilated before death, and their bodies were mutilated after death. On the 2 or 3 articles that I read was specifically on someone who was burned to death and what they did afterwards. And the number of people who showed up, all white people, 5,000, 10,000, sometimes 15,000 people, to see the spectacle. They took pictures of it next to the body while it was still smoking, and smiling, and that people sent pictures about this. Let's get this something straight. That was state-sponsored terrorism on our part in the South. And we allowed that to happen. Now, and I don't know why the Christian right is so aghast about this whole thing. I don't know why Billy's aghast about this whole thing. We do not have that great a legacy and all of that. Now, Billy pivots right from there to talk about Susan Rice, who went before the Brookings Institute, and talking about how we were going to defuse threats with our partners, and basically indicating that there's no existential threat such as Nazi Germany, such as Japan, such as what might have gone on in World War II, where our existence was threatened, that we will work with our partners to try and defuse these places all over the world. Does that mean we're going to not be engaged? No, it doesn't mean we're not going to be engaged. We're going to be fully engaged. We want to help our partners defuse these things. We've learned a lot from the 60s when we just threw money at somebody who became a head of state and invested in a police state on their own part, because they were going to be, we could have bases on their place, so that they were to us westernized as opposed to communist, so to speak. But Billy, you don't agree with that. You don't agree with that at all. You think but of course, you want war all the time. War all day, every day. Hey, why not? That's the way it is. That's the way you want it. Okay? You don't care how many people are going to die. I guess you have kids now. Would you want any, I don't know if you even have a son or not, but would you want them to fight against those savages? You want them to go clean out ISIL? So I suppose something goes wrong and a plane goes down, just like what happened to the Jordanian. Well, it's easy to say these things now, but we'll see what happens later on. But the idea that America is going to go willy-nilly into another country and blow the shit out of it isn't going to happen anymore. Like Susan Rice said, we are going to work with our regional poppers, our regional partners. So we're going to, I don't know how you defuse a terrorism issue in the sense that we have to find out where its roots are, what's causing it. Is it because of economic instability in the country? Do we need to work with the country to prop it up? We should start in our own country with the minimum wage, but we'll get back to that later. But you brought up the point of the lady Carla Mueller, who supposedly died in the bombing raids done by Jordan, who are trying to defuse the terror issue, because obviously it affected them quite a bit. And now is this late? Now I've heard later over the weekend, I'm saying this on a Monday the 9th, is that she may or may not be dead, because ISIL usually would do something to propagate that thing, meaning show the corpse or something like that. But we don't know. Maybe she's alive, maybe she's not alive. But we want to defuse situations overseas. We want to train and work with our partners and work with regional partners to try and defuse all of these things. Now, Billy, you did the thing that I love about you, is you just, I call it hyperbole. I think the term is hyperbole. You know, you basically said that there are thousands upon thousands of people who are plotting to overthrow us right away. And I'm going, okay, you know, there may or may not be, but, you know, I want you to go to the White House and tell Obama where all of these people are exactly, if you know who any of them are, because you don't. Now, are there places in Pakistan, and places in Iran, places in Iraq? No, are those people ever going to come here? Are they ever going to have the monetary capability of buying weapons here in the United States, of getting something to do some type of terrorist act? Very, very highly unlikely. In fact, many of those who we know about are never going to come here. So, so they're going to have to get a sleeper. And yes, there may be some things like that can happen, but they're going to be very, very limited in scope. You know, but again, you want to exacerbate the problem. You want to pretend it's 10 times as worse. You think we should send troops over there and run it out. And of course, again, when we did the same problem with Iraq. You know, we came in, we took over the land. You know, we left it in a vacuum because we weren't going to be the ultimate police. We got rid of all the police. We got rid of all the military. Look what happened. You know, things went bad. You know. You know, and of course, I don't know what you were talking about by bringing in climate change there at the end. You know, I guess you were summing up Susan Rice's speech. But I mean, the whole thing is, Obama's going to have a really good legacy. And when it comes to the Iraq thing, that he brought the troops out, and Iraq has to stand on its own 2 feet. We're still giving them plenty of money. We're helping them with their oil. You know, they've got to come up with their own military. They got to go back to Mosul. They got to take out ISIL. That's got to be town by town. That's the way it's got to be. Then they got to sell more oil so they can build the town. Mosul's a pretty big city, by the way. I don't know what other means there could be, but these are things that's going to have to go on. If there are thousands of people, they're very, very limited. Their capability of coming over here is very, very limited. But again, all you want to do, Billy, is create fear. All you want to do is say that they're out to get us, that they'll kill us if they will. You know, in the meantime, we're working diligently, day in and day out, to try and diffuse these terrorist opportunities that might exist somewhere else in the world that could affect us at a later point in time, but are not an existential threat to us in any way, shape, or form right now. You are wrong, Billy, again and again.